Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're sitting down to talk to you about 3 healthy eating myths that we hear all the time. So these are just a few little phrases or a few beliefs that people have about healthy eating that when we really put under the microscope, they're just not true.
So we actually shared these 3 healthy eating myths in our emails to our email subscribers a little while ago, but we thought it was worth actually sitting down and filming a video because you can say so much more in a video and it's much more fun to watch, I think.
Yeah.
But if you want to be in our list to receive emails from us, so we're sending our recipes and healthy living tips every week, just head to our sign up link. We'll leave it in the description below. And you also get access to our library of healthy eating and living ebooks. So we've got our 3-day paleo meal plan, tons of different recipe cards, and you can also get our 3-step nutrition guide. So that gives you a lot of information about where to start when you're looking at eating healthy and looking and feeling great from your nutrition. So we'll get started with the video. So our first myth about eating healthy is everything in moderation. Now, we feel like we might get a bit of flack for saying that this is a myth, but we find this is a really important myth to have a chat about. So when we say in moderation, we're talking about, that validation for eating cake, eating lots of sugary foods and snacks, full sugar or Diet Cokes. Obviously, you guys know that we eat an ancestral or paleo-based diet, but we're not super strict about some of the
Paleo foods.
The ones that are more on the edge, like eating some beans and legumes, things like that. That's not really that harmful to your health to moderate. We're talking about the moderation of the real bad stuff, because we hear it so often and so many people use it as an excuse to eat foods that are really bad for their bodies.
We were talking about this a bit before. Just because a lot of people say it doesn't necessarily make it true, and a lot of the people that are repeating it don't understand just how damaging it really is to be including a lot of these processed inflammatory foods in their diet.
Oftentimes as well, I hate to say it, that I feel that this phrase is a bit lazy. It's like, well, I don't really want to do the work to find out what food does to my body, so I'll just eat a bit of everything and slap that label on it. And whilst balance is important, it's actually interesting when you dig into the everything in moderation idea, because when you think about incorporating processed foods and refined sugars into your diet can potentially mean that that cycle of cravings and unhealthy eating never actually gets broken. Like, your lifestyle never changes because you're always incorporating those crappy foods into the diet. And the other point is that for a lot of us, we have some sensitivities to certain foods, which means that if we're trying to incorporate some moderate level of these foods into the diet, it's causing inflammation over and over again. And this can mean that we'll never recover from conditions that we're suffering with. Like, for example, if you have a leaky gut and you just keep eating dairy products which your body's reacting to strongly, moderating some dairy products here and there could potentially mean that your immune system is not going to recover and you're not going to get past this sensitivity.
And that's not to say that those foods will never come back into your diet, but your gut kind of has to have that period of time where it can heal and seal.
It's like trying to walk on a broken leg before it's mended.
Yeah. And it's kind of on that topic. I also see, very often people with certain food sensitivities continue to eat that food and they say, well, I can deal with a bit of diarrhea, I can deal with a bit of bloating, I'll just deal with the symptom and keep eating the food, and they'll call that moderation. And you can see the bloating and you feel a bit uncomfortable, but what you don't see is the inflammation that is causing in your gut. It's that real hidden
cost, and then it can manifest as other health conditions down the track, which we certainly don't want. So, and when we say that everything in moderation is a myth, we're not saying, on the other hand, that we need to be super vigilant and militant about our food, but we do need to be, really cognizant of the fact that food is really important information to our bodies. It's not really a healthy balance to eat candy bars and medicating our emotions with food that's really harmful to us and eating foods that we know that we're sensitive to. So it's trying as well as you can to eat the foods that really nourish you and, don't deliberately go out looking for trouble.
So our second myth is that exercise can make up for poor food choices. So this is kind of coming from that idea where people will see themselves as like a calculator, so you're putting in calories and expending calories, so it's that real model of calories in, calories out.
It's like a really attractive idea too, though.
It
like
makes
to
it
make
very
it so simple. If only it was that simple, guys, but it's not that simple, you know.
No.
The body is so complex, and what we feed ourselves, like it affects our metabolism, it affects our hunger cues, our hormones, everything. Like it's not just about like the calories and the macro breakdown of what we eat.
So it's really true when they say that healthy eating and losing weight is 80% diet and 20% exercise. So the exercise is really not a big part of that equation. And of course, doing some healthy movement and exercise is important.
For especially like toning up and changing the body composition.
Yeah, so we're not saying that exercise is not important, that's not at all what we're saying. But this idea where people are spending, you know, a number of hours doing cardio and treadmills to try and burn off a candy bar that they had that morning is just wrong.
So you're better off sticking with, you know, really making healthy changes to your diet, and then over time you actually won't want to eat those foods that you were trying to trade for exercise, if that makes sense. And it's so much more effective. And then if you could pair a really healthy diet with some good exercise, like a bit of cardio, some weightlifting to really increase your muscle mass, you'll see so much more result than if you were just working on the cardio hours versus treat foods model.
And we'll also add that doing a lot of cardio will drive up your hunger. So your body will try to make up for that lost energy.
It's not even effective. That's you'll just end up sneaking in, and it's like your willpower can only last for so long because that natural hunger cues will just be driving you to eat that little bit more and just eat it right back. And so our third healthy eating myth is that food cravings come from a lack of willpower. So I think we can be really hard on ourselves, especially women. You know, we feel like our food cravings and giving into cravings comes down to some kind of, you know, lack of, you know, good character traits or some kind of lack of willpower.
Yeah.
But it's actually 9 times out of 10 that's really not the case, and there are a lot more other factors at play.
And yeah, as we were just speaking of before, it could be that you're doing a lot of exercise and your body will naturally upregulate your appetite and your hunger so that you will make up for that energy that you've lost. So it's not that you just have a lack of willpower, there's so many other factors that we have to look at, you know, your biology, the environment, your emotions, there's all of these other things, which we actually spoke about in its own video, so we'll definitely link that below if you haven't seen that yet.
So we talked about 6 actual root causes of food cravings. So, you know, things outside of willpower and the things that we keep bashing ourselves about could actually be the real cause of food cravings for you.
So it's actually really amazing when you start eating a paleo diet or a real food diet, incorporating more whole foods, you actually start to notice that those food cravings just don't exist anymore. You know, I don't think about donuts or things like that anymore. That's just gone.
Well, your entire like chemistry slowly changes. So you know, your gut microbiome will change. You know, yeasts and overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria can, you know, push us to really look for those sugary foods that feed those organisms. But once we go ahead and address these kinds of root causes, the cravings literally go away. You know, there's nothing special about like us that we don't crave things like sugar donuts. They just literally go away. So those were our 3 healthy eating myths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it with a thumbs up. If you have any questions for us, of course, leave it in the comments below. And as we mentioned before, if you'd like to sign up for our free resource and ebook library and our weekly emails, we'll leave the sign up link below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from us. And other than that, we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye guys.